Hello, my name's Justine and welcome to my channel. So this is my kitchen and this is Charlie. So today, as you can see from the title, we're going to be making TikTok baked oatmeal, and for this first recipe, all we're gonna need is this blender. So the first recipe we're doing is banana bread baked oatmeal, and all you have to do is put basically all of the ingredients except for the nuts into the blender. This recipe that I'm doing here is for about 6 muffins, but I'll also have a recipe for just 2 servings in the description box below. I did change the level of sweetness for these muffins just because I made them before other ways that people have done it, and I think it needs more sugar personally, but feel free to reduce it if you like. So obviously spray your pan with some non-stick oil, and then at this point, after everything's blended, you can add your pecans. And obviously you wouldn't blend this in, you would just fold it in. So preheat your oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then put your oatmeal batter into your tins, and then you bake them. So the only thing about baked oatmeal recipes is they take a really long time to finish in the oven. So I waited about 45 minutes for these to get done, but you could also do smaller muffins. Ta-da! And these are your baked banana oatmeal muffins. So next up, I'm gonna show you how to make these baked oatmeal brownies. So this recipe has a lot more steps involved, but that's what makes it taste like a brownie. And it also takes a long time in the oven to bake because, as you can see, after I cut into this, it wasn't quite done. Oh well, they came together really well anyways, and I'll have the time and everything that I did in the description box below. So for this recipe, I'm using quick oats because I think they're lighter than the thick oats, and you just want to blend them until they're really, really fine. So the secret weapon is coconut flour. I use coconut flour because it doesn't taste like baked oatmeal. I just noticed that if you make brownies out of complete oat flour, it tastes like you're eating chocolate oatmeal, which I'm not a fan of. So we mix the dry ingredients together, and now we're melting the fat and the chocolate in a double boiler. Here I chose to use coconut oil, but you can also use vegan butter, and then I use 72% chocolate chips from Trader Joe's that are vegan, and you just want to melt this until it's mostly all melted, but there's some chocolate chips left over just so you don't accidentally burn your chocolate. Also, just a quick tip, make sure while you're melting your chocolate that you use dry utensils so you don't ruin your chocolate. So this is another required step to make this taste even more brownie-like, but basically you have to whisk your eggs in a bowl with the vanilla until they're frothy. So once that's done, you can add in your sweetener. I'm using coconut sugar and regular white sugar, and then you want to mix this all together really well until it becomes kind of thick like this. Usually you would add the chocolate into the eggs, but I'm doing it the other way since this bowl's bigger. But yeah, combine those until it becomes thick like this. So obviously you're gonna want to add your chocolate powder to the dry ingredients first and give that a mix, and then you can add your wet ingredients. So for this recipe, it requires 2 cups of milk because coconut flour is so dry. Here I'm using just 1 cup, and then you'll see that it's way too dry to become a brownie. So if you try to change this recipe and not use coconut flour, you're probably not going to need as much milk as this one needs, because coconut flour just absorbs liquid and becomes so dry. I don't really know why, but that's just how it is. So once the milk is mixed in, you can add your chocolate sauce that we made earlier, and then we just want to mix that in really well as well. So the consistency you're looking for is a lava-like texture, kind of like what I'm about to show you here. So I used an 8 by 8 inch pan for this, but I think you should use a larger pan because this took forever to cook, honestly. Unless you're okay with waiting because you want thicker brownies. But this literally took like 2 hours, and I was opening the oven, checking it over and over again, and it just wasn't coming together. So your toothpick should come out dry, not like this. So at this point, it took about 1 extra hour, and I had to put them back in the oven after I cut into it because mid-taste test I realized that this was still raw, but these were really good the next day. The first day they were good, like they kind of were a bit dry, but then the next day they became very moist and dense. So I hope you give these brownies a try. They're really great alternative to just regular brownies because they're a little bit better for you. But anyways, I hope to see you next time.